The road to becoming a professional screenwriter can be long. It can be never ending, right? If you are one of those people that has the courage and the conviction, but you get beaten down by attrition and you give up, you're never going to become a professional. And the number one reason people give up, even if they have the talent, is they don't have a clear step-by-step process. And part of that is having a way to measure progress realistically, because it does take time and there are significant steps forward. And if you don't know what they are, you might actually be making decent progress and not realize it. And then you get so overwhelmed, you quit. So this is for you if you've got that talent, that burning desire, and you stay awake at night sometimes going, mother effer, like I've got this talent, I don't want to waste it. So this is going to help you figure out how to measure the progress in your career. Let's get into it. Most people think of success like winning an Oscar, like Matt and Ben here. So maybe you're thinking about that, which is cool. It's a wonderful milestone of many that these guys have crossed. Let's talk about the steps that you can take in your career and how to measure that so that you can get to one of these milestones and then keep winning Oscars again and again and again, right? So it's a whole continuum. And if you show up in the right way with a clear step-by-step process, it makes the difference for you, because then when the doubts come and you have a shelter against that storm. So there's three basic ways I suggest thinking about measuring your success. One is joy. Two is productivity. Three is money. Let's talk about joy first. It's really simple. Enjoy what you're doing. And it's like, oh yeah, I know that. But like, yeah, do you really? I mean, think about how many people you know personally that are writers that say writing is hard. Maybe you say it. Especially when they say selling your screenplay is hard. But the truth is, it's all chopping wood and carrying water, to use the Zen phrase. And there are ways to chop wood and carry water that are hard. And there are ways to chop wood and carry water that are easy. So when you're writing or you're selling your script, practice doing it the easy way, right? You really can do it that way. I do it that way. People I coach do it that way, and you can too. But it takes practice. Second way to measure your success is productivity. You stacking up the scripts? Or are you working on the same project for month after month after month after month after year after year after decade and not really making that significant progress? Like, how are you finishing things? If you're a writer-director, are you creating clips? Are you creating shorts? Are you getting stuff done? If you're not, it's probably because of two reasons. Number one, you have a wonky system. You're not really sure where to focus your energy. What do I do now? And then what do I do next? And what do I do next? And without that proven step-by-step process, you wander in the woods forever. Like me, I did that for 15 years before I got a system, and then I started turning out scripts like this. Boom, 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 boom. The other thing that might be slowing you down, my friend, is you're creatively blocked. You actually know what to do. You've read all the books. You've got systems in mind, but you're just not doing it, or you're not doing it enough, or you're not doing it quickly enough. That sounds to me like you might be creatively blocked. Could be perfectionism, could be whatever, but people in that situation basically need some sort of accountability system, some sort of way to directly deal with a block and embrace it and be gentle with yourself around it and let it soften and then move forward so that the flow is roaring through. If not, you're stuck like this, and you have all this talent, but you're not realizing it because you have no way forward. So, yeah. I don't want you to be blocked. I don't want you to be stuck. I want you to find your way of getting the accountability that you need or the system that you need. Some people, oh, by the way, they actually might be really productive, but they're not like getting any advancement in their career, right? If that's you, money is the way to track. How much money have you made as a storyteller? And when was the last time you made money as a storyteller? And this might bring up like crazy shame or whatever. I'm not saying like I'm using money as a metric to talk about progress in a concrete way. Because if somebody pays you for your screenplay, that's an agreement, right? So how many agreements do you have? I want you to think about it this way, because this is the way, this is paved currency. It's AI currency. I don't know what that is. But like, you really can have an abundance of prosperity if you approach it a certain way, right? I'm not saying you can snap your fingers and sort of wish yourself into it, but if you approach the game in a way where you start thinking very specifically. Let's say, for example, you've made zero money. You're a talented writer. You've done whatever, but you haven't quite made $1 yet. So I would invite you to come up with a concrete goal, like let's say $1,000 in 6 months. It could be $500. It could be $100. It doesn't matter. Anything up from zero is better. And then you reverse engineer. If I was to make $1,000, what does that look like? How many conversations with producers? If I could get into 100 conversations with producers and show them that I already have 5 scripts written that I write at the professional level, now we're getting pretty likely. And I'm not talking about spamming them. I'm talking about real conversations. Like there's some number that you can define that, let's say you write horror. And if I talk to 10, 20, 30 legit horror producers, either bigger fish or people that are working for bigger fish or independent producers, and they have some sort of project and they need a punch up or whatever, and you've got horror material that shows that you can do the job, there's a certain number that makes it really likely that you're going to make that $1,000 in 6 months. So figure that out, right? Let's say you've made more than that, right? Let's say you got an option a couple of years ago for $5,000 or $10,000, or you've made 10 or 20, 30 or 50 or 100, doesn't matter. Whatever that number is, think in 6 months, I want to make that number again, or maybe 2x. Well, if you made 20,000, I want you to think in terms of 20,000 or 40,000 in the next 6 months. Now reverse engineer it. Bump, 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 do the gears. At that level, who's paying $20,000 for scripts? If you're in the Writers Guild, it's a little different because there's not quite as many buyers, but those people can be reachable and they have money and they're hiring writers all the time. How many conversations do you need to be in? How many conversations do you need to develop with how many people to make it more likely than not that you're actually going to be making another 20,000 or 40,000 in 6 months? There's a number. And once you get that number, then you just reverse engineer and say, okay, I got to do X amount of calls this month. X amount of, and it depends on how you actually reach out to them, what you say. That's a whole other piece of content. But this is really about tracking. And once you realize somebody's out there getting paid for screenwriting, why shouldn't it be you? Right. And by the way, that's something I heard Matt Damon say too. So that when he had doubts along the way, he was like, yeah, somebody's out there getting paid. Why shouldn't it be me? And everybody can say that. And so once you start thinking about it this way, and then reverse engineer and track, make sure you're enjoying yourself, make sure you're actually finishing stuff and getting it out there. And you're like, it's fine to build relationships at any time in your process, but like if you're not really writing at the professional level yet, build the relationships, but don't start thinking about selling it. You got to get your craft up to the professional level. And so up to the professional level, quality wise, and then productivity, so you can bang stuff out. And then ask yourself, how much money are you making, right? You want to make more money? Get a real concrete step-by-step system. And that is your sure path to not like get an Oscar in 6 months, but you make momentum and then you set the next one. After 6 months, let's say you got it, cool. And then go, okay, I made 1,000, great. And then the next 6 months, you want to make 2,000 or whatever, or you made 20,000, cool. Next 6 months, you can make 40. If you made 100, cool. Next 6 months, 200, whatever it is in your own path. And then what'll happen is when you have a concrete progression that's totally in your control like that. And if you miss that target, no problem. What happened? Oh, well, I didn't do enough conversations. Oh, I did a lot of conversations, but nobody got back to me. Maybe because I was spamming them. So raise the quality of your socializing. There's always something. Because somebody else is out there getting paid. Oh, well, they have representation. Cool. How'd they get representation? What was the relationship they built with the representative that said, ooh, this writer is worth working with? What can you do to create value that makes representation want to work with you? Producers want to work with you. Because they'll work with anybody if somebody has a script that they want to produce. So eventually, when you keep playing this game over and over again, next thing you know, you win, you get a lot more money and you win this award and then you win another award and all that stuff really doesn't matter It's all secondary. It's nice. It'll be cool when it happens, but you just focus on what can I do today? How many, how much time and energy do I need to finish this next project? How many relationships do I need to build with people to move it forward? Concrete, specific, in your control. You are awesome, my friend. If you want help doing this for your career, sign up, get on my wait list. I will give you an assessment that's really friendly and fun. I get a sense of where you're at, what your targets are, what your biggest obstacles are, and then I just help you. And either I help you this way, that way, the other way, blah, 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 and I send you some resources or whatever. If I go, oh, you know what, you might be a good match for my program, you can do that, bing, bing, bing. Or I go, oh, I know this other colleague, you guys might be in industry. But like anyway it turns out, I'm gonna try to help you. So you got nothing to lose. Sign up, get on the wait list. It might take a while because I get a lot of people on the wait list. But I'm sending you lots of love. All right, bye.